All right, we're on air. It is Thursday, January 19th. Thank you everybody for joining. This is our first development meeting since the release of Backdrop 1.6.0. So hooray! Thank you everybody for all of the amazing work. I really love having feature freeze. I felt a lot less panicky in the last 2 weeks than any previous release. I also was super impressed with the amount of work that everybody was doing, even in the last 2 weeks, to get all of those tiny improvements in to make Backdrop much better. So thank you everybody for all of the continued work on and commitment to making good releases. Okay, so last week we talked about dropping support for IE, and we did have consensus from the PMC that that's what they wanted to do, but we did not have an official vote. I just want to say we now have an official vote, and we have officially dropped support for IE8. What that means in terms of our code is that nothing has actually changed. Like, we haven't removed anything from core yet, but we no longer have to account for like adding new things, making sure that the CSS works on IE8. And we have some time to decide what should be removed and how. So we can do that in 1.7 if we want, or we could wait until 2. But nothing has changed as of today. We just are officially stating that we no longer support Internet Explorer 8, which is great. As far as community outreach, we have the blog post up. So thank you, Tom, for writing the blog post. Thank you, Gregory, for reviewing it. And the blog post has been passed on to Jordan and his team to start turning it into a newsletter for us, which is great. I'm a blocker there. I've got to give them access to the MailChimp account. But it looks like they are going to even go ahead and set it up and schedule it for us too. So that's what's left on community outreach. Nate, did you tweet yesterday?
I have not. So we haven't actually announced, I don't think.
We haven't told anyone that Backdrop 1.6 is out. I know I didn't tweet on Monday. I think we're good. We can tweet and link to the blog post now.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay, so backdropcms.org is what we've kind of shifted focus on now that Backdrop is out. We have this fantastic new homepage design that Wes is working on, and we just talked about that. How to get from where we are now to where we're done in the last meeting. So I'd encourage anyone who's interested in working on that to either watch that video or jump in on that issue. Is that issue 322? No, I don't know. There's no issue linked in the agenda, but we can add one. And then the hottest topic on backdropcms.org right now is the forum. So this has been a really long-standing issue where lots of people have wanted a place to talk about Backdrop for a very long time. And initially we decided not to add a forum because it's hard to build and maintain a forum, and there are a lot of really great forum alternatives out there. But over time, it's kind of proved that it's been necessary to have a forum. So if you guys are interested in helping us figure out what a forum should look like on backdropcms.org, we are going to meet after this meeting is over. On the Hangout. We'll just continue the Hangout after we stop the broadcast and talk about what features we want for a forum in terms of minimum viable product. So just encourage everyone who's here who wants to be involved in that to stick around. We're going to try and create like a forum subcommittee of people to kind of hammer on that and get something up for us to play with. Nate, did you just add this item for 2017 suggestions?
I just restructured it because it had been under forum. But there's a general discussion going on about, yay, new year, let's kind of like New Year's resolution type issue at 322. And that's really just kind of a general discussion with a whole bucket of suggestions. So I'm not sure how long that conversation should. Actually, ideally, we'll split that up into separate action items rather than just having, here's 20 ideas or everybody's individual ideas. But it's an interesting discussion since it's the start of a new year to just kind of brain dump.
I also should mention the forum came out of that conversation as well, where someone's like, we've been talking about it for 2 years. And everyone's like, oh yeah, that should be our priority.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So then the last item is showcase for sites built with Backdrop. This is almost done, but we don't have any content. So I have deprioritized it over the forum, which is a little bit sad. But I think until people start entering sites built with Backdrop, we shouldn't be highlighting the fact that we don't have any sites built with Backdrop. But yeah, that's close anyway. As soon as we get some, we should be able to wrap it up. All right, next. Let's talk about Backdrop 161. Nate, do you want to take it over?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So Backdrop 1.60 is out. It's all very exciting. I know Jen and I have both updated some websites to 1.60 without much problem. Backdropcms.org is still on 1.5, but we have plans to get that updated as soon as possible. There haven't been any critical problems in 1.6 that are like need to fix like right now, but there are some items that have come up that are rather serious. We have a couple of settings forms that aren't saving all of their values properly because of our change to use the new system settings form function. And those issues are getting worked on and have pull requests that could need some reviews and checking to make sure everything functions as it's expected to now. And those two issues are 2473 and 2478. And probably the biggest issue in the 1.60 release that we found so far. Another issue is that we've added entity view modes to core in 1.6, but we have not provided any kind of upgrade path for people that are using the entity view mode module. And I'm guessing that that means the entity view mode module from 777. Is that right, Jen?
I don't know.
Okay, because I don't think there was an entity view mode module for
Backdrop. No, there is. I didn't know about it either, but I think Herb Duell pointed it out and opened the issue because there's actually one in Backdrop contrib.
Okay, so but they're probably almost identical as far as managing their data is concerned. Oh, I guess maybe not because one's config. Okay, well in any case, that issue is 2480 that we need to start handling that upgrade path. Right now, if you were to have core and the contrib module, bad things would likely occur there. We do also have a flag for modules that have been merged into core that prevents those modules from being turned on again. We probably need to make sure that entity view modes is considered one of those merged modules so that you can't turn it on manually anymore.
Okay.
Yes?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Another item, the table drag. I have not yet seen this issue on my own computer, but we have had multiple reports of the table drag getting stuck to the cursor when you're re-dragging items. And this one so far is mysterious because we didn't make hardly any JavaScript changes in this version. So there's some issue. Jen thought that it might be related to normalize, but I'm not quite sure how a CSS change would break the behavior of table drag. So that one needs some more research, but would definitely also be kind of an issue with priority if it actually turns out to be affecting a lot of people or a lot of interfaces. And one more item that Jen has now put in here, multiple select items. They currently have a fixed height. And that also was a side effect of the normalize update that we had to rework some CSS to adjust for normalize's new rules. And it looks like now we've set a fixed height for select list items, which includes multi-select, which is not good. And I guess there is no issue for that, but Jen will file one. Sorry, Jen, I'm volunteering you for that, and then update the agenda as soon as one exists. Okay. There's more issues that are tracked for the 1.61 release that are in GitHub. Many of those are ones that were bumped from the 1.53 queue. Once 1.53 was released, we're now only doing the bug fixes in the 1.6 branch. But there's also some items that affect 1.6 specifically in there, or just items that are easy enough that we could get fixed at any time. There's a scheduled item here that says January 22nd. I think that that's more of a suggestion than actually a release date. I know historically we have generally made the bug fix release before we push to Pantheon, and that might be what's being implied here, that we should get out 1.61, fixing as many of these items as soon as possible, and then when 1.61 is out, we push to Pantheon. Okay. That's it for the 1.6 status update. Still very exciting to have 1.6 out the door. And now we have another 4-month release cycle before 1.7 comes out. 1.7 is still in flux as for what our overall goals for this release cycle will be. The one thing that we know for certain is the reference module that got bumped down to the 1.6 release is, again, top priority for the 1.7 release. So we have, of course, a working version of reference module that is in contrib currently, but our hope and intention is that that continues to mature and get to a point that it is core ready, as well as handling upgrade paths, either and the core term reference module, as well as the contributed module solutions, including node reference, user reference, entity reference. Exactly how far that goes and the extent to which we provide upgrade paths is yet to be determined. Two other items that are in here for the 1.7.0 release are two items that showed up very late in the 1.6 release cycle, but almost got to completion, but didn't quite make it for the code freeze cutoff. But both of them are incredibly useful and amazing features that are already in a functional state. And so I have added them here to the agenda just to mention them to kind of accelerate their development. And one of them is issue 1704, which is page element blocks that allows you to position things like the page title, the tabs, the messages, and other elements that currently are hard-coded within layouts. You can position them as blocks instead. That's a very cool piece of functionality and would really substantially increase the flexibility of layouts. It's also, well, I won't go into it. It's very neat. It needs more testing, though. So check it out, 1704, to get more information about pushing that issue forward. Another item also related to layouts that is in a needs review state, but probably is a little bit further from completion, is layout relationships. And this is issue 2134. And relationships would allow you to do things like take a node, if you're on the node layout page, and form a relationship to the author of that node to make it so that you could place all of the blocks that are related to the author rather than just the blocks that are related to the node. And that could be incredibly powerful to allow you to do all kinds of things, pulling out a whole chain of items on any main entity page, any of its related entities that are beneath it. Again, that would also be a really cool pairing with the reference module. If that all comes together at the same time, it would be very cool. Those are the only items we have pulled out for 1.70 to talk about immediately in this issue or in this meeting, but we have a slew of great ideas and items for the 1.7.0 release, and you can find them all on the GitHub issue queue in the 1.70 milestone. That's it for the 1.7 and 1.6 updates. Next up is general discussion. Do you have anything that we should bring up? Any issues that have not been listened here? Any questions about the release or what we're doing next? That's because everything is super clear. Okay. All right. Jen, I think that's the end of everything, is it not?
Sure. I mean, I guess the only other thing I was thinking about is if we wanted to set a specific focus for next week's meeting, or adjust how we're trying to figure out how to like make the best use of these meetings. And so we thought paring it down to a half an hour, keeping it super focused and just telling people to talk about things offline might be one way to do it. I think maybe we should try this for a few weeks, but if there's anything, I don't know, if we don't like it, we want to change it back. Just if anyone has any feedback on how things are going.
Okay, well, let's do that after ending the video, because what the purpose has been achieved. So
okay, well, thanks guys for coming. After this meeting recording ends, we're going to talk about forums, so please don't hang up. We're just going to stop the broadcast.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining. And again, yay, congratulations for 1.6 coming out. Very exciting. And yeah, we'll catch all of you guys next week. And of course, online in the issue queue. So thank you.